Welcome to the podcast for the recently released. I'm your host, Louis Stardust.
And I'm your co-host, Joe Matissa.
And today, I have no idea what we're talking about.
All right, we have a few things to go over today. Today, we are going to do a review of the movie Extraction on Netflix. Then we are going to do a review of the show Devs on Hulu. Then we are also going to hit a review of the movie Onward. And then we're going to go into our final review of the finale of Westworld Season 3.
So all things that sucked except for Onward.
And that's the one I had no interest in.
Yes.
But we'll touch base on all this stuff, you know what I mean? She'll do some more than I'll do some more, depending on, because obviously she watched one more and I didn't watch one, and then vice versa. You just keep seeing
one more, and then...
Yeah, like... Well,
I watched Onward, he watched Devs, that's it.
Basically, that's what we're getting at.
Okay,
so... You want to start it off with Onward? Or do you want to wait because that one you really...
No, I could just go right into it. So Onward is basically a story of two brothers who live with a single mother. Actually, she's dating like a cop centaur thing.
Yeah.
But their father died, and on the younger brother's birthday, he gets a staff that comes out from, like, the mom has it hidden away in the attic, and the dad
has... Like a stick or a group of people to work for him?
A staff.
Okay.
And he gets staff, and there's basically a note saying that something, like, magical will happen, essentially. Mm-hmm. And you find out it's that he will come back to life for one day, and so the older brother tries to do the spell, doesn't really work out, but the younger brother does. However, during that time, he messes up and only is able to bring back the bottom half of his dad, so it's just legs for pretty much a majority of the movie. I love this movie. I love Pixar stuff more than, like, Disney sometimes. I feel like their storylines just are more suited for, like, adults in a way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I mean, I'm not, like, I don't really have siblings, and I don't have the parental bond to a father, but, like, I cried the entire movie. It was so good.
Oh, I know.
It was perfectly balanced, because I love, like, fantasy creatures, and you like fantasy creatures and shows and stuff, so they have a lot of the essential things that you see, like dragons and, like, cannot remember what it's called, but she's basically part, like, flying lion thing. Not like a griffin, but something weird.
Not like a griffin? Yeah,
she's got, like, a lion face, but wings and, like, a pointy tail and stuff. I don't know. There's just a lot of fantasy creatures. They talk about unicorns, and they talk about all these things. And it was a really fun story. I thought all of, like, the challenges they face on the road were really creative and fun. And I love the ending. I mean, I love and I hate the ending, because I don't want to spoil it too much, but I was expecting it to go one way, and it didn't go that way. But yeah, really good movie. I don't want to say...
Well, you don't want to spoil it? We spoil stuff all the time. I mean, that's what we do.
Okay, so basically what happens is he has the 24 hours to be unearth the dad. So they go to find the Phoenix gem, which is what the whole, story's about. And he gets the gem, tries to bring his dad back, but as that's happening, there's, like, a giant dragon, like, attacking the area where his school is, because that's where the gem was. And the younger brother says to the older one, he's like, you go see Dad, you say goodbye to him because you've met him before I haven't, and I'm going to go basically save the world. And the whole crazy fight scene with the dragon, there's, like, a great sequence with the mom and everything. It's so good. But the dad appears, hugs the brother, has a conversation, and the younger brother's trapped in rubble from everything that happened, and doesn't even get to, like, hug him. I was hoping for, like, he runs up, hugs him as he dusts away kind of moment. Literally anything. He doesn't even get to see him or talk to him. And I hated that. And I get it. Because the whole premise is that he's never been with his father because his father died when he was young.
Yeah.
But he makes a list of things he wants to do, like play catch or get driving lessons and all these things he wants his dad to do. And there's a part where he separates from his brother in the movie, and he's all pissed off, and he's going through his list, and he's upset because he's not checking those things off, but he realizes that he did all of it with his brother, and his brother's been that, like, role model figure. So that's why I got, like, emotional, because I was like, this is really sweet, and I'm thinking about it, and I want to cry right now. But it was so good, and they just did a good job with it.
Now, what would you rate this movie?
Like a solid, like, 8.59.
8.5?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very along the lines of Rotten Tomatoes review.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
It's just a very, like, fun story.
Yeah, and this just came out. This came out on the 6th for on demand.
Yes.
So we don't have to go to theaters. Nobody has to go to theaters
well, you
to
can
see
get it right
it.
on Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, it's right there for free. So
yeah, so there's not many movies coming out right now, but the ones that we can see, this is one of them, and that's a pretty good rating, I would say. Everybody seems like across the board they really like this movie.
I'm like getting emotional thinking about it, and I really liked it. So it's like really good.
All right, well we'll. Everybody, make sure to check that one out. Then that one's a good one. Oh no, don't start. Okay, quick, we gotta steer clear of that one and move on. All right, so we'll move on and go downhill then a little bit. All right, the movie Extraction on Netflix is a Chris Hemsworth film. Just came out April 24th. It's about a black market mercenary who has nothing to lose, who's hired by a group to rescue a kidnapped son of an imprisoned international crime lord. But in murky underworld of weapons dealers and drug traffickers, an already deadly mission approaches the impossible.
You know what it is? It's a 6.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really, like... The one thing I gotta say is if you're into action movies, you're into stunts, you're into fight scenes, all that, fantastic.
But that's how I feel about, like, Mad Max, right? Like, it's like, ooh, big cars and fighting. Like, that's how I felt like Mad Max was. This is like, ooh, guns and fighting. And, like, I can appreciate that, but it felt like there was no substance for the actual story.
Yeah, I mean, it is very typical action movie story. It's like, old kind of, war veteran guy, lost his family, has a death wish, does all these random missions for money. He's kind of a drunk, has his dependency issues with drugs and stuff. And then basically gets this gig to rescue a kid. He goes for it. You know what I mean?
And you see him not beating up any kids that are attacking him because he's attached to these...
Yeah. I mean, at some point, he lays the smackdown on some kids. And he's, like, straight up throwing them like they're ragdolls. Which I give them credit because they don't do that in movies. Whoa.
You're trying to kill me!
We just lost the camera down.
So... I have no problem with the generic, here's an action movie with, here's a generic, storyline and plot. I think they could be done well, but when we're at the point where you and I are literally verbatim saying the next line they're going to say.
And then,
it's just so cheesy, and I really like the kid that he's protecting in the movie, but I wish there was a little bit more dialogue with him or anything, because realistically, like, he has a couple, like, bonding moments with him, and talks about, like, how Chris Hemsworth's character is using him as a package, essentially. He's taking the package and bringing it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he has a whole thing of, like, oh, is that what you think of me? Like, that's what my dad thinks of me thing. Which is, like, okay, I guess, but I don't know, I expected more from the kid's dialogue. Like, I feel like there wasn't much there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. He kind of takes that on. They show, like, it's just nonstop action, so they don't show a lot of that stuff, but they give you the general gist, like, and the kid's personality wins him over, and he tries to rescue the kid even though they get the dead end kind of end of the mission where he can't rescue the kid or whatever. So he goes for it and all that stuff. I mean, the guy who got to do this movie, that he's one of the actors, he's also a stuntman, and he worked with all the Avengers movies and stuff, and the Russo brothers are involved in this as well. Chris Hemsworth and Anthony Russo are producers on it, and Sam Hargrave was the stuntman and one of the actors who's the director. And there's a lot of really great, like, interviews and shots where they show how they do a lot of one-shot takes in the movie. So, like, the action scenes are really legit. There's a lot of that, but the story is nothing. Nothing.
He gave me a little story. Like, there was a whole thing with David Harbour at one point, which felt, like, pointless. Like, he knew that was going to happen, and it was just, like...
It was funny watching them fight, and them being drunk, and him being a sloppy, ex-military guy in another country just acting a fool.
I don't know.
He was listening to his funny music in the car, and he's jamming out and shit, and he's got his silly glasses on, and he was funny. I thought it was kind of like, not anything big for the movie, didn't have to happen, but he was alright to see.
Yeah, I just wasn't impressed. There was, like, one scene, which I watched before we even watched the movie, where they're doing it almost, it feels like one long take of the movie, and they're doing a fight sequence, going through buildings and stuff, and that was really cool. Other than that, I don't know if there was anything else I felt like I liked.
I liked, mostly I was just in it for the fight scenes. All the fight stuff, all the gunfights, all that stuff was really good.
That's valid.
Other than that, it's whatever. But not a bad movie. Definitely something you can watch, and you can watch it on Netflix. You don't have to buy the movie, so
I will say for a Netflix original that's in like America, I guess it would be set. Well, it's not set in America, but like I'm sure it was American.
India it was set in.
I know, but I'm saying it's not like it's a Dutch Netflix original. Like it's an original from directors from America.
Yeah, it's not dubbed over any bit weird.
It's
or
actually
like that,
pretty good quality. Like the quality of it is good.
Oh yeah, they went
in.
The
filming is
big
good,
production.
But it's just not a good movie.
Especially because all of the weapons, because guns were banned where they filmed, so they had to use rubber weapons and then CG all of the effects of the weapons, the movement of the weapons, the whole deal, and they had to like act it out like they were actually recoiling and things rather than using blanks and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. They did a good job. I mean, it looks convincing.
I wouldn't think that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it at all. But when you watch the interviews that they have on YouTube for it and stuff with Sam Hargrave, really cool stuff.
I would be more interested in looking at how they made it than watching the actual movie, honestly.
Yeah, and I would like to see, obviously, since Sam Hargrave was the guy who designed all this stuff and the choreography, all the stunt stuff, I would like to see him do more stuff. You know what I mean? And just have somebody else write his things and present him stuff, and hopefully he'll get that one good one. Because the action in this is killer. All they need is a good story, and I feel like that would be he could do a good set of films probably. You know, I would give this movie a solid 6.5.
Oh, lucky I even gave it a 6.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I was gonna give it a 7, but I don't really need to watch it again. I feel like if it's a 7, I could watch it a couple times, maybe.
I have no desire to ever watch it again.
Yeah? Okay. But it's cool. If you like action movies and just madness, you know, it's fun to watch.
You can watch Onward again. You will love it.
No, I'm good.
It's so good.
I'll pass.
It's really
I'll
fun.
pass.
For someone who likes, like, mythological stuff and animated stuff, I'm surprised you have no interest in this.
I just haven't been in the mood for that kind of stuff lately. I don't know why.
I don't think it feels too wholesome, though. Like, it's not like they play on the factor, like, oh, Dad's dead. Like, it's not like that to me, which I liked, but...
I don't mind that stuff in those movies, because they're for kids, you know what I mean? There's plenty of humor that you can find in there for adults and
I'm not
cool
talking about humor, I'm talking about, it's not... They don't push the sadness on you the whole movie. Like, Dad's dead. Like, it's not like that. It's very, like, I don't know, funny.
It's every one of their movies, though. There's always super sad stuff.
I don't feel like it's heavy in that movie, is what I'm saying.
They don't do that heavy, do they? Do you have any ones that are real heavy besides maybe what? Toy Story?
Up is the saddest movie ever.
I guess, yeah, the intro was kind of depressing, but the rest of the movie's fun.
No, it's still depressing.
Maybe. Maybe that's
Coco,
just their
I cried the entire movie.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't.
Well, it's also because it's got, like, very, like, Hispanic Spanish values. And there's, like, little things in there that are very,
What's
like...
Hispanic Spanish?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Latina.
I'm
just giving you different terms of the word because there's a lot of different things you say. Obviously, it's Mexican culture, but I'm just saying it...
It just sounded funny.
Whatever, you're annoying. I'm not talking about it anymore. Too late.
Oh, you're killing me.
Next subject.
Okay, so, the next thing that we watched was originally an FX program, but they moved it to Hulu, called Devs. With Ron Swanson. What's his name in real life? Let me check. Nick Offerman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, basically, this show is a limited series. It's like a drama series. It's only the one season, 8 episodes. But it's a series that's about a young software engineer named Lily Chan, who works for a company called Amaya. It's a cutting-edge tech company based in Silicon Valley. After her boyfriend Sergey or something, has an apparent suicide, she suspects like foul play and begins to investigate. She quickly realizes all roads lead to Forrest, which is the name of the guy, Ron Swanson, who owns the place, Amaya's enigmatic CEO, and Devs, the company's secret development division. In Lily's quest to discover the truth, she uncovers a technology-based conspiracy that could change the world. Now, this came out on March 5th. It just ended on April 16th. It's 8 episodes long. Now, I know you had a hard time watching this, but there was some parts that were enjoyable, and there was a lot that dragged in this show.
7.5.
You're going to give it a 7.5. Now, I'm going to get into the things about this show that I really like. Devs is a really cool show for people that are obviously really big, like, AI conspirators, really big... maybe if you have a lot of religious theory, a lot of just different things. Because the whole point that they get into in a lot of this is that they have a supercomputer that basically understands the algorithm for cause and effect for all things. It can understand the cause and effect of why a pen rolls across the table, and so therefore it can predict if it knows some of the information of the past, present, or future, it can figure out vice versa.
Yeah.
So the algorithm is so evolved that it can basically predict the future of life, present, past, all these things. At one point, they see a fuzzy image of like Jesus on the cross. They're seeing all this stuff, and it's basically the guy's kind of going crazy, and he lost his wife and kid, and he's trying to figure out if everything in life is determined just on a tram line where it's your destiny and whatever happens, or if there's really choice to life and that you could have changed something particularly. And that's basically the thing. And it really goes deep into the potential of a multiverse and all these different things. So it's really cool to watch if you want to kind of theorize about that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, a lot of this drags. There's a lot of fucking boring talk in this show.
If you're only going to do a show that's like, what, 8, was it 8, 10? How many?
8 episodes.
You're going to do a show that's 8 episodes and just do dialogue. I think the dialogue is important to give you the concept of theories and stuff, but you could show more of that. You could do more visuals instead of just dialogue and bullshit. And
yeah, absolutely.
It's just... I don't know. I would keep watching it and I would get invested and then I would fall asleep and then I would just look it up on, Wikipedia and read the episode so we can watch the next one because I didn't even feel like watching it.
When they finally get to points where they give you a little bit more about something and they go into some theory stuff and you're talking with maybe the CEO or somebody else that's more in a deeper thought aspect of this situation, then you get some really good dialogue. But otherwise, it's like... it definitely gets annoying.
Well, the thing is, too, like, the first episode brought you right into it. Like, you were so immersed. The second was, like, pretty good. If we were watching this on real time, I would be so pissed.
Yeah, I would, too,
be, like, sitting here for hours.
Everything looks really cool. I mean, the devs complex, when you go into this secret place, it's like a floating cube in a vacuum, and then all the lab is inside of there. It's pretty ridiculous and over the top, but, I mean, it's very, very cool to look at. Everything's really pretty. The main character, she's alright. I mean, in the beginning, like, she's crying and screaming hysterically a few times, and you're just like, oh my god, when does the madness end?
It's valid.
Yeah, and she's like she's real good. Like, she's a pretty good actress. I mean, I enjoyed her in this, and I enjoyed Ron Swanson. Although he looks like a borderline predator in this.
I cannot
He's
take
so
the hair.
Creepy looking. It's so bad.
I know they're doing that on purpose, too. And what's her name? Allison Pill. The girl from Scott Pilgrim.
Allison Pell. Who are we talking about?
She's the
Allison Pell, Katie. Oh, the one I was calling Powder, the pale girl with the blonde hair.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's Powder, Ron Swanson. I don't have a nickname for the main girl, Lily. I can't think of who she looks like.
There's nothing.
No.
No.
But then there's a couple other characters. I mean, her ex-boyfriend, her boyfriend that died, a couple different people.
Her ex-boyfriend got the shit end of the fucking stick with this thing. It pissed me off. I don't know.
You get so mad at this guy.
Yeah.
What's the term that you said for him? What is he called?
A simp.
Okay, a simp. I agree. Yeah. Whatever that is, he is that.
No, he's fine. He's, has this connection to her. She breaks up with him to go live her life. I guess they were together for a while. Things weren't working out. She realized it didn't work. She continued doing whatever. She met Sergey, whatever. And he's still bent out of shape about it. But then she comes to him for help because he's like a really good hacker guy.
She's like, hey, investigate my boyfriend's death. I know I left you.
And it's like awkward and tension happens. I get it. But he like does everything for her and gets the shit end of the stick in this series. I hate it.
And there's so many times where he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
But then he just does it. And I'm like, yo, no point he ever put his foot down and says, no, really go screw yourself. Like, honestly. Except for the very, very, very beginning.
But if somebody was like, hey, I have footage of this person being murdered. I don't think it's real. And you are somebody who can do it. I feel like you would absolutely have to.
Yeah, I probably would.
You know what I mean? Like...
I'd be like, hey, this person's got a murder tape on this thumb drive. I mean, we're going to check this out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure you would be down with that. But overall, I would give this show... I don't know. I would say I'd give it like a solid 7. I want to give it like a 7.5, but like there was so much that dragged, and the ending was cool, and the concept is really great, and it's a lot of fun. But
I think they could have given this 2 seasons max, or they could have did a full 20...
They could do another season.
No, I think they should have did 2 seasons max, or a full 20-episode season of this, and that was it. Because the 8 episodes, I don't think was enough to really expand on the universe and what's going on. I heard about the ending from you. It sounded stupid. And for you to only have 8 episodes is kind of bullshit to me, because they pack it with stupid dialogue that does nothing.
I would rather them shorten this season, made it 6 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
take 2 hours worth of nonsense out of it, right? Then give it another season and push, like, the extreme aspect of the end that they put in there.
Well,
because now that they put the perspective in there and the kind of, like, up in the air still aspect of things, it could still be fun, and they could make it like, now that you know about the company, they could lead other people on, and, you know, there could be like a kind of almost like Westworld style, which we're going to get into Westworld, but like a bigger rebellion among the company, things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe they'll do something with it, maybe they won't, maybe it'll just stay a one-season show.
I don't think there's going to be anything else for it. I mean, it would be interesting to see, but if it's just the one-shot season, I can't see it.
But I enjoyed it. Definitely check that one out on Hulu. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but it's really fun to, like, have somebody else watch and discuss the stuff, if you're into that.
We can talk about Westworld and how weak it was in comparison to the past 2 seasons.
God,
People have such mixed feelings on season 2. I loved season 2.
It was okay.
I loved it.
Not as memorable as the first season.
I mean, of course, the first season's iconic. It's in the Wild West. Yeah. It has these storylines. You kind of figure things out, like crazy shit happens. The second one, I love that they show other worlds. They show a little bit more character development for, like, Hector and Maeve and these characters that I liked so much. This one felt like, I don't know, I'm not happy with it.
I didn't like that they split it into, like, 4 major story arcs, and a couple of them just dropped.
And they didn't even really connect with the other ones like it should have.
And it's not that they dropped in a way that, like, you never got any resolution out of them. You did. There was resolution for a lot of the characters, but to even make them that main of a thing and then just drop them off sometimes for long periods of time was agitating.
Well, it's also, this season was 8 episodes, and the previous seasons were 10 episodes each, so it was cut shorter. Yeah. I wonder if that's because of the budget or what, because they obviously use so much CGI and bullshit on the show. But I think it needed more episodes and a little bit more clarity on why they did all of these groups of people like Bernard and Maeve and everything. I wish they kind of actually came together in a way that wasn't so forcibly cheesy.
And one thing I also got to say is, since they centralize the focus as far as with the remaining robots and stuff that are left that are in the real world, like it's like Maeve, Dolores, and Charlotte,
Bernard,
and Bernard and stuff. But the problem is without the first and second season aspect of being in the world, being in Westworld or whatever, it's like you don't get the type of action and the type of everything and the over-the-top aspect, because you only really get action scenes derived from those key few characters in this season. You don't get the broad spectrum of, you're in this world and there's a shootout going on with 5 people and they're just in the middle of it.
Well, that's
that doesn't
what made
happen.
It so interesting, is because it was a whole different aspect of a world. You can go there, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why even when they show the second season and they go to, I think they're in Japan. I might be wrong. I can't remember. But they have parallels of each other. So there's one that kind of looks like Armistice. There's a guy that's just like Hector. They all have parallels of each other's main, I don't know, system into another world. I would have loved to see more of that.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see what other worlds they had under their sleeves. They
previewed the Game of Thrones thing.
Dragons, exactly what I was going to say. They show Maeve in the, like, 1940s?
Yeah, in the 40s.
That world seemed interesting, but we got, like, none of it because we just kept getting the repeat thing of her waking up every time.
Yeah.
And not an actual storyline. I would have loved for her just to not realize where she was for maybe an episode and then be like, oh shit, why am I here?
Yeah, and especially because there was like 4 fight scenes just between Dolores and Maeve, and no offense, but without everything else happening, their fight scenes are really stale.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's not the great action that you get from the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So that was really annoying too, and the constant everybody's Dolores and this and that.
I hated that.
I mean, granted, I do like towards the end how they kind of make it where Dolores could be good or bad, because they're basically taking her, trying to get the key from her brain to put into Rehoboam to keep things rolling and all that, and take control of everything. But like, obviously it makes it seem like she's trying to destroy them all, basically, and get rid of all the humans. But towards the end, they kind of turn that around, and they leave it open to maybe that's not the case, and maybe she was trying to not delay the inevitable, let it happen, and give everybody a base for freedom and choice to rebuild the world, basically.
I wish that there was just a little bit more stuff with her and Bernard, because I love Bernard as a character, but you kind of just see him as like, I'm a farmer guy now, I'm not a robot, and then it cuts to him partnering with the one guy, the robot, I cannot remember his name, he's like a cop on the island in Westworld.
Oh yeah, what the hell is his damn name?
I want to call him Stokes, that's definitely not his name.
Stokes.
Agent Stokes. But
Stubb,
there we go.
Luke Hemsworth.
So he's a Hemsworth?
Luke Hemsworth plays Ashley Stubbs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he is a Hemsworth.
Well, because there's another Hemsworth.
There's a bunch. Same with Baldwins and all those.
But whatever. I wonder if he's like a Chris Hemsworth. That's what I'm asking.
Who knows?
Anyways, so his whole storyline feels like it just goes, okay, we're after Dolores, we go to this party to get Dolores, we get stopped by that group, and then he doesn't really do anything else with Dolores.
Well, like, his purpose was never huge. Stubbs wasn't, and
no, I meant
Bernard was supposed to be kind of purposely put on a imaginary path, because it was to keep him, I guess, out of danger, because at the end you find out that he's the one that holds the major key. Spoiler alert. And basically, he has to be ready for the next step of things, and that's when he puts the head thing on, and then everything freezes out.
Let's talk about the end real fast. How is he covered in, like, dust, as if, like, the ceiling's falling down on him or something in this hotel room? Okay. I guess it's trying to be like, we've been here for a long time, but you're in a motel. Well, like, nobody's knocking.
Anybody that watched the original Westworld in 1973 and then the follow-up movie Future World in 76. Future World is very much what they're doing in this season, where there's potential hosts and everything. But now they're going full-blown like Terminator, where basically everything is into chaos, the computer systems all crash, the AI crashed, everything. Everything's going to go to hell. And there's still Delos manufacturing hosts, and then there's still people. And basically what's going to happen is he's going to be reborn. He's going to be the key to whatever the plan is for either hosts or humans or both that they have. And he's supposed to wake up in this world and continue, and they basically made him sleep until that process was converted. So he's going to basically wake up in, I guess, the end of the world. You know, which I'm surprised the building's still standing. You never know what's going to happen to the building you're standing, especially if you're in a cheap hotel during the apocalypse. You don't think they're going to burn the shit down?
I don't know.
That's kind of ridiculous. They don't tell you how much time's going by. And then they also show a scene where the man in black goes to Delos, one of the outlet Delos labs, finds a whole bunch of them being created, the hosts, and then finds a copy of himself and Charlotte. And basically they, like, kill him. You know, and then they're starting, like, the end game of the end of the world. So, I mean, the fourth season could be really good and crazy and potentially way more over the top than this one was.
Well, this is probably a bridge season.
Yeah, which kind of sucks. And especially because I'm not really interested in Caleb's character, and he's supposed to be, like, the, like, puppet leader for the, I guess, the humans, maybe, or hosts? Really, I don't know.
The only thing they showed you is, hi, I'm down on my luck, I'm no longer in the military, so I have to do all these shady deals.
Yeah.
My mom's in the hospital, you see her for 2 minutes, and then also I killed my partner. And that's it. What other story and backline does he have?
They go back into the fact that they were using the Delos program and the hosts to train with real people for all the scenarios for his job.
Yeah, I understand. That's how they... But I'm saying him individually. Like, where is his own...
They picked him because of his ability to choose in all of those trials.
I understand. I want to know more about Caleb as a person. Like, what's his favorite fucking food? What is... Like, I just want to know about him.
He's John Connor. He's just a vessel.
It.
He's basically a vessel. He's eventually becoming something. And that's basically the Terminator aspect that I was going to go into. Where I feel like it's going to be... At the end of this, it's going to be hosts, humans, end of the world, destabilization, at war, and he's basically the John Connor. That's my theory. I'm throwing it out there, people. Throwing it out there.
I don't know. I just have mixed feelings on the season as a whole. I would have liked a lot more stuff. Like, for me, Maeve is my favorite. I feel like she got pushed around until the end, and then they really were like, let's go kill Dolores.
Yeah, I wasn't really a huge fan of that.
Yeah, you could have given her something better.
I would have loved to see more happen with the other characters also. I would have loved to see more happen with, Teddy?
Mm-hmm.
And who's the other guy that they had as well?
Hector.
Like, it was cool that they got brought in, but I would have liked to have seen more people utilized for the plan rather than, like, a couple people that were copies of Dolores.
I hated that. I think that's what threw me off in the season so much, is that it was just Dolores, because what was so interesting was, who does Dolores have? What, or like the little orb things, who did she take with her? And that was the one thing we were having a whole conspiracy about, and everybody was talking about. And for it to just be Dolores is so, like...
Well, and I get what they're trying to hint at, because at the end they hide the old mechanical, more durable body for her to be put back into at the end and all that, and I get it, because like she was the start of a lot of it, so they based a lot of the models after the virus basically off of that foundation.
But she could have made more people and then split them so they were half Dolores, half like what she did with Hale. She could have did that with like Teddy and all these other people.
They could have definitely did that, because that was so annoying.
Yeah, I would have loved to see other characters. It was just kind of like, I don't know.
Now, I would say that everybody disagrees with us for the most part through Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, all of that. Everybody gives it like an 8.5 to 9-ish all the way across the board. What would you say you give this show for the third season?
I feel like I said a number already. I
Did you really? You might have.
I might have. I don't know, like a 7 or an 8. I'm like, there's things I like, there's things I didn't like, but it's not like, it doesn't have replay value like season 1 and 2 have for me.
No,
I know you don't like season 2 as much, but I actually really loved it, and so it's a disappointment for me this season.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going to happen with the Man in Black also, because they killed him, but they kind of acted like he might be a host, but then like now there's a new host version of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then they don't show if he's fully dead. I don't know what's going to happen. The dude's like old as dirt already on the show, so like, how many times can this dude get beat up?
Like, now you're going to be a good guy?
Yeah.
Now you're going to be a good guy after all the
I thought when they threw him against the trash can that they would have been like, all right, old man's definitely paralyzed now. Sorry, he cannot go on. That's why it makes me think he's a host. But overall, I would give this season like, I would say like a 6.5, maybe 7.
Yeah. I don't want to be so down on it because I really love Westworld. You know what I mean? But
I'm excited for what could be a 4th season, depending on if my theories are real and it goes full-blown Terminator.
Yeah, we'll see.
But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 6.5 on this one. I just wasn't into it. We were like dying for the episode to be over, I feel like. And one thing that's also funny, to go back if you watch the old Westworld and Future World, one thing that nobody talks about is also in 2018, James Franco, Lucy Liu, and Mila Jovovich did a remake of Future World, which is very much what could be the 4th season of Westworld. It's an apocalyptic thing. It's like very Mad Max, and they find what's basically like a Dolores, and they activate her, and like it's part of the starting of the revolution, like basically finding a Terminator or something. And this movie didn't have good reviews. It was kind of low budget. Nobody really talked about it, but it literally just came out, and nobody connected that it's with the old Future World or with current Westworld. Why, I don't know. I guess because of the time it came out, it wasn't quite to this season.
Maybe we should watch it.
Maybe we should. I watched the trailers. It doesn't obviously match with the Future World movie. It's past that. It's like at Armageddon point of the 70s movie. So
Mila Jovovich only does like
corny, campy
like,
movies,
futuristic, post-apocalyptic shit.
Super sci-fi.
She's doing what,
stuff.
like the Monster Hunter movie too. Like that's just her.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I'll definitely see the Monster Hunter.
I'll watch
Wasn't
her
Tony Jaa in that too? The martial arts guys.
No
in
idea
that?
who that is.
Really? He did what the Ung Bak movies. Oh, they're fantastic.
No idea.
Anybody who's into martial arts movies, that's one to check out. But I mean that goes over everything for this week. I mean, maybe we'll go after this whole Westworld fucking fiasco with this last season. Maybe we'll check out this Future World movie and see if it feels like that could be where this is going to go.
Yeah, just for research.
Yeah, just for fun. Maybe for the hell of it, I'll make you watch the 70s ones too.
Did you watch them?
Yeah, when I was young, but I don't think I saw Future World. Westworld's the only one I saw. I didn't know about Future World until later, just talking to my father, about it. I think he mentioned it. But, man, really cool stuff, and I want to see if it relates at all.
Well, I think that's everything we have to talk about this week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and
Thanks
if you're over on YouTube, thank you for watching. We are over on our website, Podcast for the Recently Released, where you can find all different ways to listen to us. Today's our 50th episode, by the way.
Woo! 50th!
So if you want to catch up on all of our previous episodes, you could do so on our website.
50.
You can find our SoundCloud, Spotify, gosh, I gotta look this up every time.
Google Play,
Stitcher. Our Stitcher link isn't working, I have to fix that, but pretty much everything we're on directly through our website. You can find us on there. There's also links to our social media, so if you want to follow us on any of our sites, you can do so on there, as well as checking out our web stores. JoeBot Shop has free shipping right now. I have some cool stuff at lewisstardust.com, and I'm streaming on Twitch pretty much every day, so if you want to come watch some cool Animal Crossing stuff or talk about podcast episodes and stuff, then that's just twitch.tv Lewis Stardust. So come hang out with us, see what we're doing. That's it. Goodbye.
Stay safe out there.
Thanks for listening to yet another episode of Podcast for the Recently Released. If you want to peep some of our older episodes, we've got a ton of them. Just check us out on podcastfortherecentlyreleased.com. We've got merch, older episodes, links for other ways to listen to us, and more. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Don't let your meatloaf. Stay safe out there, guys.